But I say focus both on black violence and focus on police brutality. And you also had a video talking about prison is the new Jim Crow. So I'm guessing you're against the war on drugs.
Yes, I believe. I believe if the person is a drug addict, they shouldn't be sent to prison. I think drug addicts should be sent to rehab. They should not be sent to prison. I think if a person has a personal drug problem that doesn't affect anybody else but themselves, they shouldn't be punished for having an addiction. A lot of people have alcohol addictions. You're not going to send a person to prison for having an alcohol addiction. So why should a person be sent to prison because they have a drug addiction?
Yeah, you're right.
That's why I believe
or
marijuana.
just having some little weed on them. Yeah.
Yeah. And then when they get these felonies on their record, it's on their record for life. And you got 90% of the jobs that don't hire people who have felonies. Mm-hmm. And when they do clean themselves up, they can't get their life together because they can't find a job. And that's the biggest problem with the war on drugs. That's why I believe all drug addicts should never be sent to prison for being a drug addict.
Or have marijuana on them, basically, because that's where most of the criminals go to. Most of the arrest of black men is for low-rate drug offenses. Actually, that was in a book called The New Jim Crow. But I feel like someone in the chat room said that they don't talk about black-on-black crime that much. It is talked about, but the thing is, I think what the media and what some people try to do is dehumanize black people by talking about black-on-black crime. Do you think that's true or not true?
Yes, I do think that's true to a certain degree. There's some people try to, they'll talk about it in a way that dehumanizes black people, but I don't think as black people we should worry about what other people say about us. We need to focus on stopping black on black violence in the black community. Regardless of what another race says about us, I just think we need to stop worrying about what other people are saying and focus on cleaning up our communities and stopping the violence.
Okay. So basically you believe in patrolling our own communities, basically, because that's what I believe in, patrolling and come over. That's what you're saying.
Yes. And I think it mostly starts at home with the parents. I mean, a lot of black kids are being raised without a father, and I think that's one of the biggest problems because a lot of these boys that are joining these gangs, they're joining these gangs because they don't have a father figure. Mm-hmm. And they're turning to these gangbangers as father figures, and that's how they end up getting caught up into the system of a life of crime. And that's until we start repairing black families, this chaos is going to continue.
Good point. But it's just that things can be solved. It does start at home, but I mean, people need to definitely patrol their own communities because I don't think the cops are really doing anything for any really community. Just for me, just the way I look at it. And this country and this world is really turning really insane, man. And I saw the video you did about this 11-year-old girl about to marry a 30-year-old man. But that's happening in America as we speak, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, give us your thoughts a little bit about sex trafficking in America, basically.
I think it's a serious problem. You see a lot of teenage girls being forced into prostitution. But it's really bad overseas, like in the Middle East, where they're forcing girls that are 12 years old into marriage. Mm-hmm. So I think it's more serious overseas than it is in America.
Okay, well, I think it's actually a lot of pedophilia because they're trying to normalize pedophilia in America right now in California. So I think it's becoming common in America as well. You know.
Yeah, I definitely think the laws. I think the laws should be stronger against pedophiles. I mean, you got some of these people getting a slap on the wrist for sleeping with kids, raping kids. There was a case in Montana where this Montana judge gave a school teacher that raped a 14-year-old girl. He only gave this man 30 days in jail for raping a 14-year-old girl.
Okay.
The man's name was Stacy Rambo. He raped a 14-year-old girl. He was the school teacher at the school. And a lot of people were outraged about it. They were calling for the judge to step down, and they're trying to repeal his sentence. But this goes on all throughout America.
Okay. I'm still listening.
Yeah, I mean, it's a serious problem. I think any person that rapes a child should get life in prison. Because you're taking away that child's life, your life should be taken away in the process.
Okay.
I mean, you seeing people getting life in prison for these drug charges. I think these pedophiles should be the ones getting life in prison.
Yeah, they should receive at least a life or a death sentence, really. That's what should happen. But another thing I want to talk about, you made another video about white on black crime, and you were talking about 3 incidences, and there's a good number of incidents that happen with black on white crime. You know, about the man getting punched in New York, or about Chris Lane, or the lady getting beaten to a pulp, and I believe it was from either New Jersey or Philly, and there's many other incidents that have happened with black on white crime. And you're saying are you saying that's more tolerated or no?
I think there's a double standard. I mean, a lot of the media tries to always look at black people as being the victims, when sometimes we're the perpetrator. Like, there's a case in New Jersey, I think the man's name is Sean Curtis. He broke into this woman's house, and he practically almost beat her to death in front of her 3-year-old daughter.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole thing is captured on video. It was captured on a nanny cam. And the media barely reported the story. They barely even reported the case.
Okay.
And I just think if you're going to attack somebody like George Zimmerman for doing what he did to Trayvon Martin, you should also report the cases where blacks are attacking whites. I just think the media's reporting should be more consistent. Don't just pick and choose to what story is important and what story is not important.
Mm-hmm. And what they try to do is they try to hide the race of the victim, but talk about the perpetrators, but never really say the race of the victim, and they don't classify that as a hate crime.
Yeah. I mean, I personally think any crime is a hate crime. I mean, any murder or rape or beating is a hate crime.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, there's some black people that are racist. There's some black people who openly hate white people. There's racism in every race. Whether you're a black person, white person, Hispanic. I've heard Hispanics talk about how much they hate black people. I've talked to some white supremacists who talk about how much they hate other races of people. So there's racism in every race. A lot of people think if a person is black, they can't be racist, when that's not true.
Well, have you ever heard the notion that if a black person has no power, have you ever heard of the concept of white privilege or white supremacy?
Yes.
Have you ever heard those concepts?
Yes, I have.
What do you believe in those concepts? Do you think they're completely false or no?
I think they do have some merit. I've heard some pro-black say that a black person can't be racist because we don't have enough power to be racist. The power structure goes, yes, a person that has more power can be more racist than a person that doesn't have power. But the point I'm making is, the main point that I'm making is any person that says they hate somebody because of their skin color can be a racist.
Okay.
It doesn't matter whether you're black, white, Hispanic. I mean, bigotry goes on in every race. That's basically the point I'm making.
Okay. All right. Got a point. Okay, cool. All right. All right. I think we went through a good amount. I'm trying to think what we can do for the next 5 minutes. Well, basically, I mean, your point of doing the YouTube videos is that you want to spread your views and everything. Do you hope that things in the black and the white communities can change? Because I see you also did a video about Wiggers too. So, you know.
Oh, yeah, Wiggers, white to act black. The problem I have with some Wiggers, like Miley Cyrus, is that they try to portray an image that's not representative of most black people. Like, she'll walk around trying to act like a slut, and she thinks this is the way that most black women act.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the problem I have with Wiggers. They think acting ignorant is the same thing as acting black. And that's the problem I have with Wiggers.
Okay. And do you think that okay, you got a problem with her, okay, but why do you do the YouTube videos? Do you do it to solve the issues of both races or just one race, basically? Or do you just want to or do you just give your opinion out? Okay.
I just give my opinion out on my videos and try to spread a message of peace and for people to come together, no matter what your race is. Sometimes I get people attacking me for giving a straight, honest opinion. Like sometimes I'll do a video about Muslims, and I talk about how I'm against Sharia law. I'm against forcing people to follow a religion. I think that's against free will. It's against freedom of choice. And I'll have some Muslims leaving comments attacking me for saying I'm against all Muslims, when I'll make it clear that I'm not against all Muslims. There's a huge difference between moderate Muslims and extremist Muslims. Extremist Muslims are the type of people that want to attack any person. They want to kill and attack any person that doesn't believe in their beliefs. A moderate Muslim is more open-minded. They're more open-minded to free will and freedom of choice. And that's the huge difference between moderate Muslims and extremist Muslims.
Mm-hmm. You're right. You're right, but there's also a compound of Christians who do the same thing. Fundamentalist Christians have the same exact problem. You know, that's what I think. They're just as dangerous as Muslims too. You know. Do you agree with that?
Oh yeah, just with I think with every religion you have extremists and you have moderates. Moderate religious people, they're not trying to force their religion on you. The extremist religious people, they want all the laws based on their religious beliefs. And that's the problem I have with people holding office that are extremely religious, because a lot of these people don't believe in free will. They don't believe in freedom of choice.
Okay. That's pretty reasonable. Yeah, a lot of Christians say stupid stuff too, and I think Michelle Bachmann said that she wanted to do an Armageddon, and she was glad the world's coming to an end. That's just the craziest stuff you can ever say, man. And you know what Armageddon means, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Michelle Bachmann, she's one of those people that wants all the laws based on her religious beliefs. She wants to ban everything that's against her religious beliefs. And that's the problem I have with the religious right wing. Like, I support physical conservative. I support economic conservatism. I support low taxes. I support free markets. But as far as social conservatism, the type of religious right-wing people like Michelle Bachmann who want to force everybody to believe her religious beliefs by law, I just think these people are completely insane. They don't believe in free will. Okay. I think the religious right is destroying the Republican Party.
They are. I think so too.
I think if Republicans were to just stick to the physical issues, stick to low taxes, free markets, if they were to stick to the economic issues, they would win every election. But instead, they want to focus on these issues like gay marriage.
Exactly.
And banning abortion and banning all these social issues that are against their religious beliefs.
You got to work on the economics. You got to speak in the pocketbook, man. That's what you got to do.
Yeah, by doing that, you're turning off a lot of these younger voters, and that's why they keep losing elections.
And they're going to keep losing elections if they don't do that. But yeah, we need to change. But Terry Swoope, we ran out of time. But thank you for being on the show, sir.
Okay, thanks for having me.
Folks, this is Terry Swoope. Look up his YouTube channel, Terry Swoope, TerrySwoope. Terry Swoope, or go to Swoope Films. Thank you, folks, and have a good night.